Hello my fellow crafters, welcome back to my channel. My name is David and today I'm going to be working with a new collection, not my own collection. Yesterday during the live there was a new collection launched by Anja. I don't know the name of the collection, I have to be honest, because I'm recording this before the launch. But I'm pretty sure you can't have missed it. If you're an Elizabeth Craft Designs fan, you will know it came out. So that's what I'm going to be working with. I'm going to use some different stamps and dies, etc. Well, let's have a look. So I'm going to be working in this little square TN, my little art journal, and I'm going to be making a page in that. This is just my play journal where I play with some things. This is the previous collection from Anja. I think the collection from Anja works really well with the art journal collection. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. First I'm going to make my page, and I've got the page cut out here using the rounded corner, the timeless rounded corner die, which was in the Back in Time collection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my distress frayed burlap and I'm going to smoosh that all over my stencil like this. Make sure there's a good layer on there. Like so. A bit more here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm just going to clean off the edges, because I don't want any hard, well, not too hard edges. That is what it is. Don't put your fingers in like I did. So next I'm going to make sure I've got a clean piece of paper towel ready to go, and I'm going to spritz my stencil with water. And I'm going to do that off camera, just 3-4 spritzes, and then I'm going to put that on my page like so. Make sure you don't move it. Then I'm going to take my paper towel and press that on. And why I'm doing the paper towel is then any moisture that comes out from underneath the stencil is picked up by the paper towel, you see? So it gives you cleaner lines, so to say. And I'm just going to leave that on for a minute. Just let that soak in. Okay, next I'm going to do some stamping, and what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of mixed media paper here. I was thinking what was the name, because this is one of the stamp sets that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to stamp the bunny, this one and this one out to begin with. So let's start with this beautiful mushroom. And I'm going to stamp it out in black. Okay, next is the bunny. Make sure there's a good layer of ink on there. It's going to go there. These are all hand drawn by Anja, which is fantastic. And these stamps all come with matching dies. So I'm going to cut all of these out. So stamp this one right there. And last but not least, where is it? I'm going to stamp this beautiful frog. There we go. Now these are the elements that I'm going to be using on my page, but I want to heat emboss this, so I'm going to get my clear embossing powder out. And since this is pigment ink, it will still stick down. All beautifully covered in clear embossing powder. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to melt it. Okay, these are now all nicely heat embossed, and I'm going to cut them out with the matching dies. But before we do that, I want to come to my base page, because it's time to take off the stencil and look at that gorgeous texture you get. I love that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my water spritzer, and I'm just going to spritz some water on there, splatter some water on there, I should say. And what that will do, this will activate the oxides and make it a bit more splotchy, but I love the frayed burlap oxide. It gives such a beautiful, yeah, I don't know, color split when it oxidizes. So that is that, and now I'm going to dry that. But you can see the beautiful texture you get on the paper. Next I'm coming in with a blending brush, and I'm picking up that frayed burlap, and I'm just going to go around the edge. And then with a light hand I will just go over the whole thing, just give it a bit more color. And for some reason this also gives it a bit more depth. Okay, then I'm gonna splatter again, because there's another layer of oxide over this. I do want that to come to life as well. So I'm gonna let this do its thing for a moment. You can already see these lighten up again. And with the cloth I will just dab off any excess. Because I don't want puddles on there, that takes forever to dry. But this is my final background, and I love this. I'm going to put that to the side to dry further. Now, coming back to these, I'm going to find the matching dies and trim them out. Okay, so I'm going to start coloring in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a really small brush, and I'm going to use my oxides to do that. So I'm going to start with Mr. Frog, because I love him. And what I'm going to do is with peeled paint, and I'm going to use my oxides to color him in. So I'm going to pick up some of that color, and I'm just going to give him a bit of that green, going all around. And it makes it quite easy to color, because Anja designed this with these shadow spots, as I call them. And that sort of gives you the idea what needs to be a bit darker. So fairly. That is it for the frog. Now, since I've got green on my brush, I just want to come in here and do exactly the same, just picking up that color on the leaves here, these tiny little leaves. Now, since I heat embossed this, it's quite easy to stay within the lines, which is my challenge, you know that. But that definitely helps, makes coloring a bit easier. Just trying to find all the leaves. Now, I'm not going to try and color in all these little swirly thingies, because with my coloring skills, that's impossible. But I will color in that frame. Yeah. That is all these little leaves done. One more. And I'm not going to bother with shading because, yeah, it's so small you don't really see it. So that's that. I'm going to leave this on because I might use a bit of that green on the mushrooms. But first things first, what I want to do is get some selvage patina, spritz a bit of water next to that, and I'm going to use that to, one, color in the flower on the, that the frog is wearing as a crown. Like that. And I'm going to use that to color in these flowers. And on this vanilla paper, it turns into a bit of a greenish hue, which is fine with me. I love that. So simple, very simple coloring, but effective, I think. Next I will put some frayed burlap on my mat. And I will use that to color in my mushrooms. And what is also nice is because I use my embossing powder on here, the embossing powder resists the ink, so that means yeah, it doesn't get influenced, the color, by the color I put over it, where if I would have just stamped, since oxides are a hybrid ink, they will give your black stamping a bit of a haze, and in this case it stays nice and crisp. So next I'm picking up a bit of selvage patina, and on these tiny little flowers I just want that blue to come back. The tiny mushroom here that I forgot, and a tiny one here. Okay, I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'm going to use frayed burlap as well to color in my bunny. Or a hare, what is it? I don't know. Is it a hare or a bunny or a rabbit? I don't know. It's fun anyway. So I will give him a lighter wash of the color. So you can see with the same color, just using a different way to color it in, you get a different effect. And I'm going to make his bow selvage patina again. This is what I like to do. I like my colors to come back here and there. And you see that lovely oxidation that happens with that frayed burlap. That is, oh, love that. That's why it's always nice to let your stamp sit and do its thing. Here you see the oxidation of that peeled paint, different color shades. So yeah, that's what I really like. I think I'm going to leave it to that. Do I want more? Do I want more? No, I think this is it. Okay, base page done. Now I'm going to get my frayed burlap ink out. And I'm just going to go around the edge of the page, because that's what I do with every page, and it still gives it a different look because the ink reacts in a different way than the oxide. And since I've oxidized it by using water, you get a different look and feel to it. You see, just draws the eye in a bit more. And what I will also do is, with my colored in die cuts, I will just go around the edge and edge them, which will make them look more vintage than they already are. So now it's time to build up my page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my base page in half, so I know where the crease is, and then I will start to build it up. Now this one is going on this corner, but that's why I make the fold, because then I can really see how far it can go. I don't want this to go over the fold. I don't mind this hanging over though. So what I will do, I will just ink that bit up and align that up like so. This is also a fun pocket, by the way. If you don't glue this down, you've got a pocket. Not for now, but now what I'm seeing now is that this is too plain for me. So taking my brush with the frayed burlap, I'm just going over that. Then I'm taking my little stencil and bring in some of that texture that is also in the background. You see, that makes a whole lot of difference immediately. Just gonna splatter a bit on there with my water. And dry that. And now it will perfectly fit in. And because I've already inked that bit there, I know where to put glue and where not to put glue. That helps. And I'm really making sure there's glue around the edges. And I line that up like so. So my page closes perfectly now. And it's just sticking a bit out here, which is actually really nice with this open. These dies are so detailed, so that's nice. Okay, now let me continue with my composition, because I want this one here, like that. And this one goes there, the little froggy. And I have some cheesecloth here, which I'm not sure I'm going to use. No, I've got a different idea. So this one's going to go like this. No, well, let me try. I had an idea. Not sure it's going to work, but I'm just putting on some frayed burlap onto my mat, wetting that, and I'm going to put in my cheesecloth. Just picking up that ink Ooh, that's... What a difference the color makes, right? So, I like it. I'm going to use that. So let me just dry that. Okay, that's all nice and dry now. So let me see. Because I don't want it to go there. I just want that to go here. So I'm going to get my stapler out. My mini stapler. I'm just going to staple that on. So that is on there now. I really like that because this can go now, has a base to stand on. You see? So let me first glue this one down. Mr. Frog is going down on there. This is sort of his throne. Since we're talking about, what was it? What was it? Fairies and... Fables and Fairytales. So this is the Mr. Frog King's throne. He can sit on his throne. And then we've got the magic mushrooms that are going to be there. And they have a nice base to sit on. There we go. And then this little bunny is going to sit on top of that in front of the mushrooms. So let me do that. That's nice. So I'm just going to place my block on top of that to give it some pressure. And then I'm going to look at my sentiment strips. Kiss is going to go with the frog. Kiss and Dreams, I like that. Now I want to give these a hint of color, but I can't do that with the oxides because, as I explained, the oxides are hybrid ink, so they have a pigment element in it. So that will cover up the black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my frayed burlap in the ink formula and cover this up in a messy way because I'm going to spritz it with water and all. There we go. And dab off any excess. There we go. And now it matches that whole color scheme perfectly. So I'm going to put some glue on the kiss thingy and place that right here. And time after time I'm going to place right here. I like how that overlaps. So I'm just making this up as I go, right? And last, I'm going to use my Posca and splatter some on there. And then where I think it's too much, like this big blob, I will just take that off with a piece of towel, like here on his face. I think it's a bit too much. There we go. This is okay for me. Just a bit more at the top. There we go. So the next step is to put it in my journal. Now let me see where I want to put that, because not that it's that important, but I think I'm going to glue that on the back of this one. that's what I like to do in this journal, is glue the pages back to back. So let me make sure I glue it on the correct way, this way. So here the glue has to be. And then I also hide the staples. So make sure it's the right way around. Is it? It is. Okay. So I'm just gonna glue this down, line it up. And it's easy because these both have the rounded corners. So this is lined up now. And this is lined up, and that means the whole page is lined up. So the reason I'm showing you this is somebody the other day asked me, how do you do that? Well, this is how I do it. It's quite simple. And then I just give some pressure on the pages to make sure they stick together. And there we have my page. Love it. Love how it turned out. So let me, come on, you can do it. There. Beautiful. I love how this one turned out. Yeah, this is my first use of this new collection by Anja. It's called, I keep forgetting what it's called. Fables and Fairytales. Fables and Fairytales. Nice collection to play with. I think you can use it in your art journal really well. Yeah, beautiful. Well done, Anja. Congratulations on your second collection. That was it for me. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so yet, give this video a thumbs up and consider to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Card making, art journaling, you name it, I try it. So that's that. That was all. Thank you for joining me, and I'd love to see you for the next time. Thank you very much. Bye.